Hey guys, I'm the one you lost, and I know it's been a while. I've been trying out shorts for a bit because I haven't made shorts in a while, and for a while they were doing pretty good, and they stopped doing good. And I was like, all right, well, that's just YouTube, man. Sometimes I make things people want to watch, sometimes I don't. There's one of those things that I wish I was smart enough to figure out what worked and what didn't. But at the end of the day, I just got to do what I can, and if I don't succeed, I don't succeed. But I don't think that's going to stop me making videos, because personally, I kind of just like making videos, even if I'm not very good at it. But all that out of the way, I just wanted to say this particular artwork is me trying out a new style. I wanted to kind of do a mixture between kind of a petite-looking character while at the same time having adult features or qualities. I don't know quite how to describe it, because the characters I've been drawing in this new style have kind of an in-between spot between maturity and looking young in terms of anime. Even though I'm drawing characters that are played by adults, it's one of those things that, like, you're kind of caught in this situation with an artist, where you're trying to kind of find that middle ground between being attractive, maybe a little bit seductive, while still making it look like an adult. And the kind of the compromise I've been going with is a bit tricky, because I kind of make the thighs a bit bigger, the waist a bit bigger. But some of these characters have flatter chests, which can kind of cause that vibe you're going for to backfire, if that makes sense. Like, just because you try to make them look older doesn't mean you still don't fall in kind of that weird in-between space that a lot of anime does. Because a lot of anime, especially in the modern moe style, is meant to look cute. The problem with cute is typically cute tends to look younger. So you kind of just have to accept the fact that you're just never going to be able to get it perfect if that's the style you're going for. And that can sometimes be hard to like deal with, because you're like, great, people are gonna be upset about this. But I've come to find, typically the only people who are truly upset about this are the people who aren't actually fans of anime. And it's one of those things that anime nowadays is in kind of a weird state where it's popular, but it's not exactly accepted. It's kind of in that growing pains phase that a lot of fan bases go through, where there are new people coming in who love certain aspects but hate others, and they expect the entire genre to change for them. Now, as much as I want to complain about that, the reality is that's just the growing pains that fan bases go through. New people come in, they like certain things, don't like others, they try to change it, your old fan base pushes back, the new fan base considers it gatekeeping. But it's one of those things that this is kind of what we're going to have to deal with as anime fans. We are going to go through growing pains as it gets more popular, and we are either going to have people accept the way things are, try to change it, or we could meet somewhere in the middle. I know for one, I drew characters from Genshin, and I was super proud of it, but in my typical style of making the character look more sexually attractive and kind of showing off the body, I posted it to the Genshin subreddit. And I don't know if any of you have ever been to the Genshin subreddit, but it's full of a lot of people who are very, 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 very not okay with, like, sexualizing characters they love. In fact, the only time they are accepting of you being sexual with the characters is if you're doing a headcanon, or if you're doing, like, girl on girl. If you ever have the audacity to draw a man with one of their characters, oh my god, you might as well just, like, put your shit to private now, because you are in for it, my friend. But yeah, so it's one of those things that I've learned what I'm willing to draw and what I'm not willing to draw based purely on what I'm willing to put up with today. There have been plenty of times I've drawn things that I thought were fine, and then I got blowback for it. And it was one of those things that it made me realize, okay, just because I see it on Pixiv and it does well, doesn't mean I should do it too, because there are cultural differences. And you know, it's like, if I'm being 100% truthful, I became desensitized to a lot of the more sexual aspects of anime. And that was because of Pixiv. Pixiv, like, was always teetering on, like, barely showing, like, bare breasts to the point where there's, like, a little bit of red where the nipple should be. So you kind of deal with the situation where when you see that every single day and you no longer see it as weird, you start to draw things that are way more risque without kind of thinking about how others who aren't surrounded by that feel. In fact, it actually got so bad, I was so excited with new artwork, I would show it to my family or my grandparents, they'd be like, lost. Like, are you kidding me? Like, you think this is acceptable? And I was like, I thought it was. But, man, that's just the reality of it, man. Like, you can get desensitized to these things, and just because, like, I and a lot of other people in my generation are more body positive or don't see it as an issue, doesn't mean others do. And I know that's kind of what I've been, like, ranting this whole time about the growing pains of anime. Us learning what the line is and kind of changing it. Because places like Twitter and other places where I post are very, very pro body and kind of, like, being accepting of everything. But there are lines, and it's one of those things that for years I tried to find where the line was, because in a weird way, like, one of the best things you can do online is, like, figure out where the line is and push it. Some people don't even care about pushing lines. Some people find the line and they're like, all right, how far can I go over this line? And that also works, but you also have to be the type of person that can deal with being controversial. I have had my fair share of controversies, and I'm gonna be 100% honest, I suck at dealing with controversy, to the point where I'm so stressed out by it that I have to, like, mute the conversation because I do not want to see it, because it's like, oh god. I'm a people pleaser, and whenever I tick people off, it's one of those things where it's like I struggle to deal with it. I don't know if you've seen my videos in the past where I've shared my opinions, and then after sharing my opinion, I had an opinion people didn't agree with, and even though I didn't understand at the time, like, my brain just wanted to be like, okay, like, clearly I'm the asshole here because so many people are upset. I don't understand it, so I'm gonna take, like, a day and a half, maybe a few hours to, like, try to understand why. And sometimes, like, my brain is just like, all right, well, I have to be the one in the wrong, so I'll just say sorry and try to figure out how to be better next time. And it's one of those things that a lot of people say, well, then are you truly sorry if you're just apologizing because you feel like you're in the wrong? Well, that's kind of a mixed bag, right? Because it's one of those things that you can absolutely be in the wrong and still try. You just have to be willing to accept that even if you don't understand that you are in the wrong. And I know this was a weird ranty video, but I had a lot of fun making it. If you like this video and watched the whole way through, let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.